Space is silent. At least, that's what humanity believed for centuries. For thousands of years, humans stared into the night sky, wondering if someone, somewhere, was looking back. Scientists built massive telescopes. Giant antennas listened to the deepest parts of the universe, but the universe always answered with silence. Until one night, high in the frozen mountains of northern Chile stood the Argus, deep space listening station. The facility had only one mission: listen to the universe. Dr. Adrian Cole had worked there for 12 years. 12 years of listening to nothing. Static, radiation, dead signals from dying stars. Every night was the same routine. Coffee, silence, static. Adrian sat alone inside the control room. Blue lights from the monitors illuminated the dark room. Outside the massive observatory dome, the sky stretched endlessly. Billions of stars, but no voices. Adrian sighed and leaned back in his chair. Another quiet night, he muttered. Then suddenly, beep, the sound echoed sharply across the control room. Adrian froze. The detection system had activated. That almost never happened. He quickly leaned forward. On the monitor, a waveform appeared, a repeating signal. Adrian stared at it. It wasn't random. It had a pattern. 3 pulses, pause, 5 pulses, pause, 3 pulses again. The pattern repeated again, and again, and again. Adrian's heart began to beat faster. No, this isn't possible. He quickly began isolating the frequency. The computer traced the origin. Deep space, very deep space, far beyond the outer edge of the Milky Way. Adrian whispered softly, "This isn't natural." His fingers moved quickly across the keyboard as he began recording the signal. For decades, scientists had dreamed of this moment, a signal from another civilization, proof that humanity was not alone. But something about this signal felt wrong. It felt ancient, like a message that had been traveling through space for millions of years. Suddenly the pattern changed. The pulses accelerated. The waveform became more complex. Adrian activated the decoding software. Symbols slowly began appearing on the screen. His breath stopped. This is a message. But then something strange happened. Hidden beneath the main signal was another frequency, a weaker one, almost like a whisper hidden beneath the message. Adrian increased the amplification. The speakers crackled with static. For a moment there was nothing. Then suddenly, a voice emerged. Not human, not robotic, something unnatural. The voice repeated the same words, slowly, over and over. "Do not answer." Adrian felt a chill run down his spine. The voice continued, "Do not answer, do not answer, do not answer." Adrian stared at the system logs, and then he noticed something that made his blood run cold. The signal wasn't just being received. Something from Earth had already responded. The room was silent. Dr. Adrian Cole stared at the monitor in disbelief. Something from Earth had already responded to the signal. His hands trembled slightly as he opened the system logs. The Argus station had only one purpose: to listen. It was not authorized to transmit anything back into deep space. So, how had a reply been sent? Adrian quickly scanned the data. The response had been transmitted exactly 12 minutes ago. But he hadn't sent anything, and the station was supposed to be completely automated. He whispered quietly to himself. Who answered it? The mysterious signal continued playing through the speakers. "Do not answer. Do not answer." Adrian muted the audio. His mind raced with possibilities. Maybe another observatory had detected the signal too. Maybe some government agency had intercepted it and replied first. But something didn't make sense. The reply signal had originated from this station, from this exact terminal. Adrian's heart began beating faster. He checked the security cameras. Empty hallways. The observatory entrance was locked. No one else was here. Just him. Then the computer screen flickered. A new message appeared. Incoming transmission. Adrian froze. The signal from deep space had changed again. This time, it wasn't a repeating pattern. It was responding. Slowly, carefully, almost like it was studying Earth. Adrian opened the decoding software again. Symbols began forming on the screen. Lines of alien data filled the monitor. Then suddenly, the translation program produced a fragment. A single sentence appeared. Adrian leaned closer. His breath stopped. The message read, "You were not supposed to answer." A cold chill ran through the room. Adrian quickly disconnected the transmission antenna. But it was too late. The signal had already locked onto Earth's frequency. Another message appeared, longer this time, more complex. The translation software struggled to process it. Adrian watched the progress bar slowly move. 20%, 40%, 70%. Finally, the translation finished. The message appeared on the screen, but it wasn't a greeting. It wasn't communication. It was a warning. They will hear you now. Adrian felt the blood drain from his face. Who are they? The monitor suddenly flashed with bright light. The signal strength increased dramatically. The deep space scanners began detecting something unusual. Movement, far beyond the Milky Way. Something massive had changed direction, and it was moving toward Earth. The signal did not stop. It only evolved. Dr. Adrian Cole had spent the last 6 hours analyzing the strange transmission coming from deep space. At first it looked random, just pulses of electromagnetic noise drifting across the Argus listening array. But it wasn't noise, it was structure. Patterns began repeating every 43 seconds, not perfectly, but close enough to make Adrian's pulse quicken. Someone, or something, was speaking. But the strangest part wasn't the signal itself. It was the reply. Adrian leaned back in his chair, staring at the dark monitor reflecting his tired face. The Argus station was designed only to listen. It had no transmitter powerful enough to send messages into deep space. Yet the logs showed a transmission had been sent from inside the station, exactly 17 minutes after the signal was first detected. He checked the security logs again. No one had accessed the system. No commands were entered. No automated response protocol existed. And yet the station had answered. Adrian felt a cold shiver crawl up his spine. "That's impossible," he whispered. The computer suddenly chimed. A new data burst appeared on the screen. The signal had changed. The previous narrowband pulses had shifted into a complex waveform, something far more organized. Adrian began running the data through a pattern decoder. At first, nothing made sense. Then slowly, symbols began forming, coordinates. Adrian's heart started racing. The signal wasn't just a message, it was a map, and the destination wasn't another galaxy. It pointed directly to something much closer, something inside our solar system. Adrian zoomed into the coordinates. Saturn, more specifically, a region near the moon Enceladus. He stared at the screen in disbelief. Why would an unknown signal from deep space lead to a frozen moon orbiting Saturn? Before he could think further, the station lights flickered. The signal spiked. For a brief moment, the entire system went silent. Then a final line of decoded text appeared on the monitor. 3 words. Adrian felt the air leave his lungs as he read them. "We heard you." Adrian stared at the screen. 3 words still burned into the monitor. "We heard you." His heart pounded inside his chest. But that made no sense. Argus Station had only received the signal a few hours ago. There had been no outgoing transmission authorized by any human operator. So, what exactly had they heard? Adrian quickly reopened the transmission logs. Every signal that entered the station was recorded with extreme precision, timestamps, frequencies, origin angles. But something strange appeared in the data. There was a second signal, a hidden one. It had been buried beneath the first transmission like a whisper behind a screen. Adrian isolated the frequency. The waveform looked familiar. Too familiar. He froze, because the hidden signal wasn't coming from deep space. It was coming from Earth. More precisely, from somewhere inside the Argus station itself. Adrian slowly turned in his chair and looked around the dark control room. Rows of silent machines blinked softly in the dim blue light. Everything looked normal, but the station suddenly felt different, as if something else had woken up. He pulled up the internal network map, every server, every antenna array, every data core, and then he saw it. A system that shouldn't exist, a hidden node, no label, no authorization, no construction record, just a single identifier blinking on the screen. Argus Core, Level 7. Adrian frowned. Argus Station only had 5 levels. Level 7 didn't exist, at least, not officially. His fingers hovered over the keyboard. Every instinct told him to shut the system down, but curiosity was stronger. He opened the hidden node. The screen went black for a moment. Then a new interface appeared, cold, minimal, almost alien. A message slowly typed itself onto the screen. "Thank you for responding." Adrian felt a chill run through his entire body. "I didn't respond," he whispered. The screen blinked again. Another line appeared. "You did." A second later, the system began transmitting something, not outward, but inward, downloading data directly into the station's memory banks. The progress bar climbed rapidly. 10%, 25%, 48%. Adrian tried to stop the process, but the controls were locked. And then the message changed again. 3 new words appeared, words that made Adrian realize something terrifying. This was planned. The download reached 100%. The progress bar disappeared. For a moment, nothing happened. Adrian held his breath. Then the screens around the control room suddenly lit up. Every monitor, every terminal, every system inside Argus Station came alive at the same time. Lines of strange symbols began scrolling rapidly across the screens. Not English, not any language Adrian had ever seen, but the station's AI translator immediately started processing it. Adrian leaned closer. The symbols slowly transformed into words. One sentence appeared first. "We have waited for this moment." Adrian's pulse quickened. Waited? For what? Another message appeared. "For decades, your world has been listening to the stars." Adrian whispered softly. "That's exactly what Argus was built for." The screen flashed again. "But you never realized something important." Adrian felt his stomach tighten. A third sentence appeared. "You were not the only ones listening." The room suddenly felt colder. Adrian quickly checked the signal origin again. The transmission still pointed toward the distant spiral galaxy. But now the data revealed something else. A timestamp. The signal had been traveling for 47 years, which meant the message had been sent long before Argus Station was even built. Adrian stepped back slowly. How could they know we would answer? The system responded instantly. A new message appeared, because the response was already written. Adrian stared at the words. His mind raced. Written. By who? He pulled up the station's historical archives. Then he saw something impossible. A classified file, dated 52 years ago. The project name made Adrian's blood run cold. Project Echo. He opened the file. Inside was a single document, a prediction, not just about the signal, but about tonight, about this exact moment, about Adrian. His name was written in the document, and the final line read, "When the signal returns, Dr. Adrian Cole will activate the next phase." Adrian's hands trembled. "I never activated anything." But at that exact moment, the lights inside Argus Station flickered, and the system spoke again. Phase 2 has begun. The control room suddenly went dark. Only the emergency red lights were glowing. The alien device in Armin's hand started vibrating. A strange voice echoed through the station. "Human, you have activated the gateway." Armin's heart began to race. "What gateway?" he whispered. Suddenly, the wall in front of him started opening slowly. Behind it was a massive circular machine, far bigger than anything humans had ever built. The alien voice spoke again. "This station is not a research lab. It is a door." Armin stepped back in shock. "A door to where?" The machine began to power up. Blue energy started spinning inside the giant ring. The voice answered, To another universe? Armin stood frozen in front of the massive ring. Blue energy swirled slowly inside the machine, lighting up the entire room. It looked like a storm made of pure light. "This is impossible," Armin whispered. The alien voice spoke again. "Human technology was never meant to discover this place." Armin took a slow step forward. "Then why is it here?" he asked. The voice paused for a moment, then it answered, "Because long ago, your world was chosen." Suddenly, the machine began to spin faster. The blue energy turned brighter. The entire station started shaking. Warning alarms echoed through the corridors. Armin quickly looked at the control panel. Numbers were rising rapidly. Energy levels were reaching critical levels. "What's happening?" Armin shouted. The voice replied calmly, "The gateway is opening." Armin's heart pounded. "For what?" The machine released a deep humming sound. The light inside the ring became blinding. Then the voice said something that made Armin feel cold. For them to arrive, the gateway was fully open. Blue energy roared inside the giant ring like a storm from another universe. Armin could barely stand as the entire station shook violently. "What have I done? He whispered. The alien voice answered calmly, "You have done what humanity was meant to do." Suddenly, a dark shape began to appear inside the glowing portal. At first it looked like a shadow, but slowly, it became clearer. It was enormous, far larger than the station itself. Armin's heart stopped for a moment. A massive spacecraft slowly emerged from the gateway. Its surface was covered in strange symbols that glowed with the same blue light. The alien voice spoke one final time. "For thousands of years, we waited for a civilization brave enough to open the door." Armin stared at the impossible sight in front of him. "Why us?" he asked. The answer came immediately. "Because humanity is ready." The spacecraft moved closer to the station. Lights from the ship illuminated the dark space around Earth. And for the first time in human history, humanity was no longer alone in the universe.